What's going on, folks? My name is Josh. You guys are watching The Outdoor Dude. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 easy tips for clear water or clean water spinnerbait fishing. Stick around. Alright guys, we're back. Bass fishing in clean to clear water can be pretty tricky. Heck, the idea of using an artificial lure to trick a bass into believing that it's a real bait or forage is pretty cool all on its own. And you incorporate a heavy wire lure with blades on it and a big old swim bait and skirt and heavy line, and some would think it's next to impossible altogether. Fish can be caught on spinnerbaits in all different watercolors, and in today's video, guys, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to do that. Tip number 1, guys, is to match the hatch. Now, do you hear this said a lot? But when it comes to clean to clear water spinnerbait fishing, this is 100% true. And in this situation, size and color are important. If you don't have the right color and size combination in the clean to clear water, what tends to happen is that fish sees your bait from a long way off and it hauls butt up to it like it's gonna strike it and then turns away at the last second. And you're left wondering, what happened? What did I do? Did I not twitch it enough? Did I do something wrong? And it can be one of 3 things. It can be your color, your size, or your trailer combination. Or it could be all 3 together. One trick I like to use for cleaner water spinnerbait fishing to seal the deal on those more finicky fish is to use painted blades. They come in at the last second and they see that painted blade moving, and it helps sell it to that fish that that's a real small pot of bait, and they'll come in to grab it all. Got him! Oh my god! That's a good dude. Heck yeah, man. Tip number 2, guys, is going to be a little bit of a quicker tip, but this tip is important, and that's to move quickly. Like I said before, if those fish get a good look at your bait, they're not going to hit it. You want to get that fish to react to it so it's an impulsive action and not a decision. To do this, I like to use the right size blades and a trailer that does not have a lot of action and a lot of big body that gives it a lot of buoyancy. The trick here is speed. So if you're going really fast with large blades, that bait tends to have a rise in the water column. Big boot tail trailers that move and displace a lot of water are going to do the same thing the blades do, and they're going to give it a lot of lift and bring that bait up in the water column. Great things to do for muddier, dirtier water if you want to slow down, but that's not what we're talking about today. Now, when it comes to blade style, your Indiana blades and your Colorado blades are going to provide a lot more lift in the water column than your willow blades, so keep that in mind as well. And they also put out a lot more vibration, which I personally find can hurt you rather than help you in the cleaner water. A trailer that I really like that has a lot of action but really low drag is a Mr. Twister, or whatever brand you like, curl-tail grub. Alright guys, tip number 3, take advantage of low light situations. Whether you're fishing early morning or late evening, the color line or the shade line, try to think like a bass. The bass is hunting just like you are. And that bass is going to take advantage of low light situations while it is looking for food.
Got one. There's that largemouth. Oh.
Now in that early morning light and late dawn, when the sun barely has come up or has just about gone down, those perfect situations to find bass. Now in the middle of the day, they're not really doing that. They like to sit in a shade line by a down tree or dock, or that color line where the muddier water is mixing with the clearer water. These are the situations you want to take advantage of when the sun is at its highest and they're not in a feeding session.
Fish. That's a nice largemouth that's coming up. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Now, a shade line is a little more obvious than a color line, and the shade line could be under a boat, a dock, a bush, a tree, anywhere where that sun is casting a large shadow on the water that will give those fish a little bit of relief from that direct sunlight in the middle of the day. Either relief or somewhere for them to ambush prey. That color line can also be considered a spot where the water goes from clearer to less visible. And what I mean by that is the deeper you go, you're going to see a little bit less because you get a little bit less light. Those areas are where the bass will sit down a ledge and wait for the bait to come up over the ledge in that cleaner water, and then they come up out of that murky depth and hammer those fish.
Got one. There's a fish. Smallie. Cool. Little spinnerbait, little smallmouth.
These are a lot of the spots those bass are going to sit when it's warm out or when the sun is at the highest of the day. The bass need to relax out of the heat, or they like to use it as a spot to ambush prey. And these are going to be the spots you really want to target when you're using spinnerbaits in clean to clear water. So taking advantage of any of these low light situations are going to help you catch a bunch more bass. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you got some tips out of this. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for future videos like this, click the notification bell so YouTube notifies you when I do a new video, and we'll see you on the next one.